Hello folks and welcome to Dried Watermelon. So this part actually I have a little bit of a problem with. To me, Gandalf seems way too disturbed and he's overreacting, and I'm not a huge fan of this take. Gandalf in the book is always really composed. He has a sense of urgency at times, absolutely. But I don't think I would see him necessarily acting this disturbed and shaken up.
Hold out your hand, Frodo. It's quite cool.
Okay, so this is one of the largest changes that I see from the book to the film. In the book, there are actually 17 years that pass between Bilbo's party to when Frodo departs the Shire with the ring. Of course, that seems a little bit less tense, so they needed to up the tension, to increase and unnerve the audience a little bit. So they truncate that because it would seem a little bit odd if Gandalf leaves the Shire, comes back, he goes to Gondor, explores the lore, comes back, and they're all really unsure about what's going on with the ring. And 17 years pass, and then of course the actors haven't aged as well, so I understand why they truncated it. It makes sense, but 17 years are a long, long time, and a lot can happen. Gosh, if they had left right away, instead of waiting 17 years, it would have been a far easier journey to Mordor to get rid of the ring. Even if they had left 10 years, even if they left 1 year sooner. But of course, it doesn't happen. So, but this is a major change from the story, and most people, if you haven't read the book, you wouldn't have any idea that actually 17 years go.
Sam. Wood elves.
I actually really like this scene. Sam wants to see the elves, and this is definitely a treat for him. He's super excited in the books. I actually wish they spent more time because Gildor and the elves know the urgency of the Hobbit's quest. Well, they don't actually know the full urgency of it, but they have a sense, especially when they find out that the Black Riders have been chasing them, the Nazgul. They want to help them out, and while they're together with them, they can sleep in peace and safety. The elves themselves are unnerved that Gandalf hasn't come yet. They don't really know the full quest tale and the story, but they're going to help them out as much as they can. So this is fantastic. I wish actually the film could have played out more time of this, but it doesn't, of course. So here we learn that Gandalf is going to seek out Saruman. In the book, it's actually Radagast who was looking for Gandalf and tells him that Saruman wants to see him.
You know this? How?
I have seen it.
Here's another minor change. I don't mind this one either. It makes sense from a movie perspective, but Gandalf goes to Isengard, to Orthanc, and he sees a Palantir, one of the seeing eyes, or the seeing stones, I should say. Gandalf here says, oh, you shouldn't be using it. In the book, Gandalf actually doesn't learn that Saruman has access to a Palantir until far later in the Two Towers. So this is different. I think the change helps us to understand that Saruman can see things, or gives us a little bit of a glimpse of his self-centeredness.
We must join with him, Gandalf. We must join with Sauron. It would be wise, my friend.
Tell me, friend, when did Saruman the Wise abandon reason for madness?
This is just action, right? This is a change. This isn't in the book. It just says Saruman is going to essentially imprison Gandalf. This is not alluded to in the book itself. It's just an action scene. It's a little bit cheesy to me. I didn't really love it.
Sam, we're still in the Shire. What could possibly happen?
Again, this is a part where I would have loved to have seen a full 9-hour film. I really wanted to see the interaction with Farmer Maggot. Farmer Maggot and his dogs, and he's protecting his home, his land. But again, I get why they got rid of it, and they just kind of allude to it here in the film. So, in the film, Merry and Pippin have been stealing vegetables from Farmer Maggot. And in the book, Frodo, Sam, and Pippin actually go off together, and then they actually make a stop along the way to see Farmer Maggot. And then they enter his house. Farmer Maggot feeds him, grows mushrooms, and even gives him a full basket of mushrooms. So the chapter is called The Shortcut to Mushrooms. It's a lot of fun. It's also kind of unnerving in the book itself, and I think it does more to build tension there, because he knows of the Nazgul, or at least they've seen them in a sense, and then they're also trying to make sure that no one's following them, and they're in the dark, and eventually Merry will meet them later on. So this is kind of a missed opportunity for me. I would have loved to have seen that, but again, I get why they didn't do that.
That's a nice one, Sam.
I think we should get off the road.
So this scene here is a lot of fun as well. They fall off the cliff, and then they hear a rider coming as well, the Black Rider, the first time that they meet the Nazgul. So this is really, really scary. It's really effective. I love this scene. I think it's so well done. In the book, though, it is a little different, the way it's presented. I think Jackson captured the essence of the scene really, really well. But in the book, Frodo himself is hiding, and then Pippin and Sam are together. Pippin and Sam actually don't even see the rider. They're scared, and they know well enough not to show themselves. But in the book, it says, "Well, I call that very queer and indeed disturbing," said Frodo to himself, as he walked towards his companions. Pippin and Sam had remained flat in the grass and had seen nothing, so Frodo described the rider and his strange behavior. So again, in the book, it's really only Frodo by himself, and he has to prevent himself from grabbing and putting the ring on.